Welcome back. We're talking to a company that wants to use blockchain to revolutionize auctions, and they've also got their tokens backed by real hard assets. So we'll find out a little bit more about that, this with the co-founder and CEO of JDX Coin, Charles Robinson. Great to have you here. Welcome.
Great to be here, Jane.
Yes. So give me an overview of what JDX Coin is.
So JDX Coin is an asset-backed token where we actually can put on the blockchain or put on what we call a DAG, the digital ledger, these assets, whether they be like watches, cars, or in our case, jade, and allow the people around the world to be able to access these assets that are tokenized or they're fractionalized. So now we are opening up the markets 24/7, global, and allowing people that wouldn't normally have the ability to access these assets and invest in them to do so.
Okay, so walk me through the process. So there's a Rolex watch that's worth what? $10,000?
$10,000.
Okay, and I can buy a fraction of that and participate in the increase of value of that asset?
Yes, so you can. There's two different kinds. We can tokenize a group of assets, like we're doing with our jade. So we've got 4 pieces that we're tokenizing originally, and then there's many other pieces that we can tokenize together as well. Or we could tokenize them individually and allow the desirability, the uniqueness, the collectibleness of that asset to basically rise in value individually based upon its own merit. So you can own a group, a fraction of a group of assets, or individual assets themselves.
Okay, and why is the backing by an asset so important?
Because most cryptocurrencies that are out there right now, they're a service. Like Bitcoin itself, there is no asset backing it.
Yeah.
So basically the value of Bitcoin is based upon the scarcity of the coins. There's 21 million coins that are going to be minted. I think we've minted about 85% of them so far. And so, but there's really nothing backing that necessarily. Okay, so with the asset backing, to me, I tell people that's 50% of the work is already done because you got the value of the asset itself. Now we're just adding technology on top of it that allows it to be accessed to people around the world.
Oh, right. Well, and that's one thing that's so common with this tokenization is people can own things, or at least parts of things that they can never dream about before.
Exactly.
Like a Rolex or a piece of artwork or something like that.
And it's a way to provide asset allocation, diversification of your portfolio to do it that way. In fact, we envision the JDX Coin is going to be able to add services on top, if you want to use the term like slicing and dicing, the different ways we can bring value out of that static asset. You know, a payment system, for example. We're going to have a JDX card, a P2P lending solution. We mentioned the online auction as a service that we're going to have. And so, yeah, you're basically, through creativity, which cryptocurrency allows us to really be creative in what we want to design. You know, it's only when we get into the jurisdiction of, like, for example, the US or Europe, you know, we're dealing with the laws, and the laws are changing, hopefully. We're seeing some good response.
Some movement there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And China just recently said,
that's right.
You know, as we record, China just said, you know, they want to be a leader in the blockchain space. Of course, Bitcoin goes up $2,000.
That's right. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Amazing how that happens.
So, is this a stable coin? Like we hear about Facebook's Libra being a stable coin. Is this a stable coin? And first of all, what is a stable coin, and is JDX a stable coin?
Sure. So that is a moving target. The stable coin, there are 2 types. So the first type would be a USDC, a USDT, a tether, and their purpose is to bring stability to the price, right? So you'll see 98 cents, 99 cents, $1, $1. It'll never go beyond there. So that's the first type. JDX is not that type. The second type is what the SEC has now ruled is a stable coin, which would be anything that has an asset backing. So our goal is not to just keep the price around a certain amount, but to see price appreciation. So yeah, we are that second kind of new stablecoin, which would allow for appreciation of the asset. By the way, the fine art and collectible industry, we see a growth of about 18% per year just by the base value of the artifact itself.
Interesting. Okay. And you mentioned auctions. So you're going to be involved with, how does that part of the business work?
Great question. JDX Coin exists to be able to bring these artifacts to the world, right? And so it's really it's a marketing mechanism.
How do you authenticate that? You mentioned that Taiwanese sword. How do you know that's from the Han Dynasty? Or how do you know that the jade is really a certain quality?
Exactly. Well, you have appraisers that are expert appraisers. The best appraisers of this jade are the Chinese and the Taiwanese themselves. So we have, our collector is world renowned, especially in Asia. He has won 5 different competitions. His pieces were selected as #1 over 5 years in China, and his pieces are on display in China right now.
Thank you so much, Charles.
Thank you so much.
And thank you as well for joining us. We'll be right back.